Hello, namaste. This is Jason once again, and today's video is on the subject of flow. If we consider electrical energy, water moving through pipework, air moving through ductwork, water moving through a river, it's all about flow. It's all about the medium of transfer moving through that basically pipe or conduit, whatever you wish to call it. We're much like a pipe, we're much like a riverbed, we're much like a duct. We have our physical form, which is allowing a certain amount of energy, of life force to flow through us. Now, when you have things blocking the riverbed, say there's like lots of rocks and the water gets turbulent, it moves really quickly, and it doesn't necessarily feel good to be caught up in that because everything's moving so fast. When you have a nice wide space, clear of any obstructions, the flow just can be massive, but it moves really peacefully and quietly through that area. And so if we consider ourselves like that conduit or riverbed that the water is flowing through, what we want to do is try to remove all those obstructions, all the resistance, anything that stops or creates a space where the flow has got to speed up to get through or has pressure building behind it. That's what causes most of our pains, I think. That's my belief, and I've noticed within myself that when I'm feeling shoulder tension or anything like that, it's because something's bunching. I'm creating resistance to the flow. And so the easiest thing to do is to release that resistance, and then everything flows through much easier. We've talked already a bit about releasing resistance, but I would like to also throw in the idea of the fact that there's a valve. You can turn up and down how much flow you have passing through you, and your amount of flow will manifest itself in your day-to-day life and how happy you are, how much love you feel for those around you, for everything around you. And the funniest thing is that the amount of love you'll feel will increase as your flow increases, of course. And the question is what percentage, what amount of flow do you like? Of course, the universe, source, God, whatever you wish to call it, is infinite. There's an infinite amount of energy out there. So the question is, how much do you wish to work with? How much do you wish to draw through yourself and channel into this reality? Channel into this experience that you're having? Of course, the more love that you're putting out, the more love you're going to also get back. So you're not going to just be putting out and not getting anything in return. It's actually going to make you and everyone around you feel better because you're giving of yourself wholly. You're being your authentic self, because at the end of the day, that's what all of life is a loving, beautiful thing that seeks to work in harmony as much as it can. And yes, there can be little battles and things like you see with corals. If you watch corals on Discovery Channel or something like that, you can see them actually fighting and working to establish equilibrium, but it's always seeking this balance point where everything is healthy and working together as best as it can, and that's what life is doing. So you can consider battles and frictions in your life to be places where you're working with those around you to establish a nice equilibrium where everyone's getting a nice flow together and constantly rising up and getting more love in their lives all together. So that's what each one of us can do. So turning those valves up, much like the channeling, it's all about being present to yourself, being in the now, because when you're in the now, those valves become very obvious. You can see them quite clearly. Your thoughts, though, are the thing that mostly controls those valves. So the more you're thinking about something you don't like, the less present you are to the valve, and you're actually going like this kind of unconsciously. You don't even know you're doing it. You're turning the valve down. You're turning your own flow down. So what I've been working on doing is basically just opening my valve up as much as I can. Just turn it wide open so it's just a stream of energy constantly pouring through me from the sky to Mother Earth and from Mother Earth back up to the sky. Just let all the energy flow through me. No resistance to any of it. And when I do feel pain, draw it into myself instead of trying to push it away, act like it doesn't exist. I try to draw it into myself, wherever it wants to go, and then breathe it out to my environment. Let it flow to where it wishes to flow. Let it move to where it wishes to move, because everything has its natural space of equilibrium and balance. All we have to do is get our ego, out of the way and let everything to move to where it wants to move. And by doing that, we open our valves. We open our energy flow up and up and up. And once again, it's like being present. There is no limit to how present you can be. There's no limit to how much of a flow you can have, to how connected to the now you are. And the more connected to the now you are, the greater your flow, of course. So I have a idea for you. What makes you so happy that you can't stop laughing hysterically, that you can't stop crying? So the challenge is, go find yourself something, one thing, doesn't matter what it is. Watching movies, hanging out with friends, telling jokes, going to comedy shows, anything you can think of, doesn't really matter. Whatever it is that makes you laugh so hysterically and feel so good that you're almost crying from joy, I want you to go find that thing. I want you to find something that makes you that happy. And I want you to do it every day. Whatever it is, do it every single day. Do it as much as you can. Because the more joyful you are, the more this just opens up. The more you turn your valve up and you can experience the love that the universe has for you. Because that's all there is. All of the universe, every experience you can have is a form of love. We can try to say, you know, light and dark, and light's good and love, and dark is not light and love and good and all those things, but it's not true. That's our perception of it. We can choose to believe that the whole universe is light and, or not light and good, but good and love, because I believe it is. Or we can choose to judge one part of the experience as being love and the other part is not. But by doing that, we are creating for ourselves this belief that in the darkness there is no love. Therefore, that's what we'll experience from the darkness. In my opinion, what we perceive to be darkness and negative experience is also love, because we've made a choice. Whether we've known we've made a choice or not, we've made a choice. Even if that choice is to make no choice at all, that is still a choice. And so, by the choices we've made, the universe is giving us these experiences saying, hey, wake up, wake up, wake up. Like, wake up. And the universe is trying to get us to step back into alignment, because the choices we've made are not actually healthy for us or good for us. And so the universe is saying, okay, you're at a critical juncture in your life where you've been making bad choices for yourself for such a long time that if you don't start changing these patterns, you're going to start hurting. You're going to start getting experiences that you would really rather not. And the universe doesn't really want to give you those experiences either. But it's like, how do I express this? It's like a child, you know, a small child. When people are working with children, they'll say to the kid, please don't do this, please don't do this, please don't do this. And the kid keeps doing it, and eventually the kid gets smacked. And it's like the universe is doing basically the same thing to us. It's saying, hold up, wake up to what you're doing. Wake up to the choices you're making and become responsible for the choices you're making, because it's not healthy for you. And if you get too far down that path, it's not healthy for you. It will start showing up as diseases, it starts showing up as car accidents, it starts showing up as broken limbs, all kinds of things, because the universe is now saying, okay, you're so far out of alignment with yourself and your own highest good that the only thing we can think of that can help you is if you just have to rest for a while. If you have to take some time and just give your body some time to heal, and hopefully while your body is healing, you actually give this some time to rest as well. So that doesn't have to happen, because anything, as I've talked about, anything that you can experience can be a lesson for you to use to step into greater alignment. When you start using everything that you experience, especially what is perceived to be negative, as a lesson instead of a negative experience, then you begin to see shifts in the way you experience life, and things that can be prevented, such as broken arms and car accidents and anything like that, will be because you're stepping into alignment with yourself. And I'm not trying to say that those sorts of things don't happen when you're completely in alignment with yourself. I can't speak for what you've chosen for yourself while you're here and the way that this life will flow. Sometimes those things happen for reasons even when you're in a really good space. Sometimes they happen for no reason at all. But by asking the question, what can I learn from this in every instance, in each and every instance, you'll move yourself into alignment as quickly as possible. And even when those things do happen, you'll still be able to maintain your state of peace and balance within that moment. So I'd like you to commit yourself today to opening up your flow to the greatest amount that you can in every single moment, and moving into the greatest state of alignment that you can possibly imagine. Once again, namaste. I'm Jason. Thank you very much for joining me today.